welcome to another episode of the 50 Years of Coptic History in Australia series. I'm Bishop Basilius. Joining me today is His Grace Bishop Daniel, the Bishop and Abbot of St. Shenouda's Monastery here in Sydney. Your Grace, welcome.
Thank you.
I'd like to start right at the beginning. After you finished your schooling and university, you worked as an accountant for several years before deciding in 1978 to go to the monastery. Mm-hmm. How tough was that decision for you and for your family to...
It wasn't easy. For me, it was easy, but for my parents, it wasn't that easy, especially Mom. When I told Mom that I want to become a monk and I want to go to the monastery, she made a funeral at home, because I'm the only son, and also none in our family became a monk before, and I can't blame my mom because she hasn't been to any monasteries before. She never seen monks in her life, especially in Sudan. As I said, we came from Sudan to Australia. So at that time, my mom didn't see any monasteries or monks, or even in Australia. So there was no any monasteries yet or monks. So for Mom, it was very, very hard, but I had to convince her. But for my dad, he said to me, you are already a grown-up person. You are mature enough. You can take your decisions and you can make up your decisions. And I'm sure you're doing well, and I'm sure you're going to continue well. I said, thank you, God. Thank you very much. So I went to my boss at work, so I can resign and things like this. So I went there and I talked to my manager, and I said to him, I want to resign. He said, why? Have you done have you had another job somewhere, another better job? I said, yes. He said, where? I said to him, I'm going to go to the monastery. He said, what? I said, I'm going to go to the monastery. He was shocked for a while, and then later on he started to smile. He said, you know what, I'm sure you're going to do well there. I said, thank you very much. So anyhow, he was very understanding, and he said, okay, if this is the case, I don't want to keep you any longer, because I had to leave. The decision and the approval and the okay by Sayyidina Amba Antonius Moros to take me with him, that was only done within 1 week.
I was going to say, so it's true that you left with His Grace Bishop Antonius Moros.
I left with him, and it was just amazing, how things worked very smooth, as if it was planned, 3 months ago, 3 months before. It went so perfect. So it is only during that week that I have to do a lot of things, so I can determinate things and go with Sayyidina, with him in the same plane, and to go to Egypt and to meet with His Holiness.
Who is your biggest, or what was your biggest influence in deciding to go to the monastery?
When I was serving in Sunday school, definitely I had to prepare lessons for the kids. And when I was giving, stories of saints to the kids, I need to read books. So I read books about saints, such as Saint Anthony the Great, Saint Moses the Black, and Saint Arsenius, the teacher of the sons of the kings. These three saints really affected me very much. Saint Anthony the Great, Saint Arsenius, and Saint Moses the Black, each one of them really affected me in a certain way, because each story or each saint is unique in a special way. So these three saints really affected my life. And then I started to think of the monastic life, and I started to think of life of devotion, full consecration to the Lord. And then I started to think of the monastic life. I didn't know much about it. I didn't live in Egypt at that time, so I didn't visit any monasteries. I didn't see many monks.
And you were the first Westerner to go.
Thank
as
God,
well.
yeah, thank God. So while I'm here in Australia, desiring this type of life, it wasn't easy, but I had so beautiful joy inside me, as if I've been there for ages. But it's just amazing. So I only learned about monastic life from books. And then from the bishops who used to visit us here. And as a matter of fact, the first bishop who visited us here in Australia was 1972, Bishop late Amba Samuel, the one who died during the time of Anwar Sadat. And he was the first bishop ever to come to Australia, 1972. And this is the time when he ordained me as a epsaltus, as a singer in church. And that was my first time to see a bishop and to relate and to talk to him. 1973 he came again, and he promoted me from epsaltus to agnostus, to a reader. Then he didn't come again. And then 75, we had two bishops, Amba Aghasun, late Amba Aghasun, the one who was of Ismailiyah. And then also we had Sayyidina, the metropolitan now, Amba Bakhomis. Two great people, they came to Australia 1975 and lived with us here for a few months. This is also I had time to talk with them and to learn more about these issues. And then they left. 78, we had Sayyidina Amba Antonius Moros. And this is the one whom I spent more time with him. And I talked to him about my desire. And thank God it worked this time. And His grace accepted me and took me with him to His Holiness, Pope Shenouda at that time. And from there, it worked.
You went to St. Anthony's Monastery. I guess him being the founder of monasticism would have been one of your main reasons behind it?
No, actually, I didn't know anything about that. Of course, I knew that he's the founder of the monastic life, but I didn't know anything about the monastery itself. So when I went there to Egypt, I said to His Holiness, I want to become a monk. He said, monk? You're coming from Australia? I said, yes, Sayyid. He said, have you been to any monasteries here before? I said to him, no. Do you want to go to any specific monastery? I said to him, I have no idea. Whatever you choose for me, I'm going to be happy about. So he said to me, you don't have any specific monastery that you want to go to? I said, no. He said, okay, how about we take you to the monastery of St. Anthony? I said to him, where's the monastery of St. Anthony? He said to me, it is there, somewhere there next to the Red Sea. I said to him, where's the Red Sea? So Mama started to laugh. He found that really I don't know much about whereabout it is, or the geography of the area. So I said to me, okay, Sidney at that time, His Holiness wanted to ordain young people with new blood to start monastic life at the monastery of St. Anthony. That's why he suggested that to me. I said to him, Sayyidina, I'll be more than happy. I have the honor to be a monk at the monastery where St. Anthony was living there. But he said to me, before you go to St. Anthony Monastery, I want you to go to St. Bishoy Monastery to start there, because there is Sayyidina, the bishop, Ambas Rabamon. And Ambas Rabamon will teach you. I said, great, this is what I need. I need somebody to teach me. So I said, okay, but also before you go to St. Bishoy Monastery, you're going to come work with me here at the secretary office here. I said, great. So whatever you choose for me, I'm going to be more than happy. So I started for a few weeks with His Holiness, as you know, I don't know what you call it, as an officer at the office to answer phones, to
like a receptionist.
like a receptionist, yeah. And to he asked me, "Do you know English well?" I said, "Yes." He said, do you know Arabic?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Okay, can you translate?" I said, "Yes." So he gave me a lot of Arabic articles to translate into English. So that kept me busy. So I did a lot of translation as much as I could. But every weekend, His Holiness goes to the monastery. I go with him. He came back, I come back with him. So after 5 weeks, he said to me, "Next time when we go, take all your bags with you." So I said, now we're going to start serious? He said, "Yes." So he took me with him, and then he handed me over to Ambassador Babamon. And since then, I love Ambassador Babamon. He's my confession father. I love this man. I learn a lot from him. So I started there. I was there for about 6 or 7 months. There we being gathered together. We were seven young people being gathered there. And then His Holiness said, "Let's go." So he took us, the 7 of us all together, and we went to St. Anthony, and he consecrated us as monks down there at St. Anthony. And that was the most beautiful time for me. So we were 7 altogether. A month later, Sayyidina al-Baba came to St. Anthony Monastery again, and he chose 3 out of the 7, and he gave us priesthood. So I was one of among the 3. So there, I had a chance to be, training and learning, and serving as a priest at St. Anthony Monastery.
All of this happened in the space of like just 2 years as well. In 1980.
Actually, less than 2 years.
Because in 1980 you came back to Australia as a monk, but you went to Melbourne.
Yeah.
Tell us about how that came about.
So
why Melbourne? Why not Sydney?
Yeah. So as I said, the first 4 weeks I served with His Holiness at the office. Then another 6 months as a novice with the white gown or galabiya at St. Bishoy. Then 1 year at St. Anthony as a monk. Monk priest, because I said I became a priest 1 month after. Then 1980, at that time in Melbourne, we had Abuna Hanania, whom he is now Amba Ashaya. Abuna Hanania was there for a year and a half, serving there with our Coptic people there in Melbourne. And they were hiring a church. And just after buying the church, by 1 week, His Holiness asked him to come back to Egypt so he can become a bishop for Tahta. So the people, they were so upset from His Holiness. How come you do that to us? We are just being happy, and feeling settled now. We have a new church. We have Abuna with us. They had a big loan from the bank. So they're just about to settle down. And then Sayyidina al-Baba took Abuna from them. So they were so upset, and they were so that they closed the church, and they said, "We're not going to come again." So His Holiness was very worried about them. So he wanted to send them someone very quick so he can collect them again and reconcile them and bring them back to church. So I was the only one there on the shelf, ready. Because when I went to Egypt, I had my Australian passport, and there's no problem. But I had no idea what's going on, because I left Australia and I forget about everything about Australia. And I wanted to become a monk and live my life, monastic life at St. Anthony Monastery. So there I was surprised when His Holiness asked for me to get myself ready and get a ticket and back to Melbourne. I was shocked. But anyhow, so so that's the reason why I had to go back again, because at that time there was an urgency Although I said to His Holiness, I don't want to go back to Australia. I'm happy here. He said to me, but the people there are very upset and they're closing the church and it's not good. So how about if you just go there, open the church, collect the people, and I will send somebody to another priest after he get his papers ready and passport. Then he can go there and he can come back.
Your Grace, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today.